Welcome back to Couch Collectibles. Hope you guys are having a great day. These are going to be silver Mercury dime coin values, coin prices, what these coins have sold for, and what you should be looking for on your Mercury dimes that can make them valuable. So hopping right into it, we're going to start off with the 1938 Mercury dime. Now this is really cool. We're going to start off with different coin prices. So this is graded at about uncirculated 58. So this coin sold only for around $25. But if we go to a higher graded version of the coin, a 1938 no mint mark again, this is graded at a mint state 68 with full bands. So this has some really nice toning to the coin as well, and this coin sold for over $12,000. So you see the difference in prices with the difference in grade. It really depends on the coin, the year, how many of these coins are graded at a mint state, whatever or above, mint state 65 or higher. It all really depends on the specific coin that you're talking about. And here we're talking about the 1938. So this is what the difference is in those prices. Now if we look at the 1938D, again this coin only sold for around $14. It's graded at a mint state 61, but if we move on to the 1938D that sold for over $4,000, this is graded at a mint state 68 with full bands. So if you're not familiar with full bands, here's an image of the full bands on the Mercury dimes. This kind of explains it. Now a lot of the bands are going to be worn down on most Mercury dimes out there, or at least a couple of the bands, but these bands must be fully split, and they look at these very, very closely when grading the coins. So keep that in mind. Now let's move on to a 1938D mint mark. Now this is what you want to look for with your coin microscopes, which I have available on couchcollectibles.com. This is a repunched mint mark on the D mint mark, an RPM. Now here's an example of a 1938 that has that RPM, and it is graded at a mint state 63, and this coin sold for over $35. So there's nothing, really valuable, but it's a $35 coin. For the 1938 proof coin, this is graded at a proof 69, so nearly a perfectly graded coin. It's got some amazing, amazing toning to it. Wow, I would love to have something like this in my collection. This coin sold for over $19,000. So if it was in my collection, I would probably sell it, to be honest, because you could buy a lot more coins with $19,000. For the 1938 S mint mark, by the way, if you're not familiar with where the mint mark is on Mercury dimes, here on the reverse, if we zoom all the way down in there, you will see either a D mint mark or an S mint mark, or there will be no mint mark at all, which is going to be the Philadelphia minted coin. Now for the S mint mark here, this coin only sold for around $10. But for this S mint mark, this coin sold for over $9,000 because of the high grade, the full bands, and the collection in which it came from. Now check out these other Mercury dimes and other silver dimes that you should always be on the lookout for. Alright, so in 1944 they produced three different Mercury dimes. They produced the no mint mark, the D mint mark, and the S mint mark. And you can see there that the 1944 S, they made the least of, coming in at 49 million of those coins being produced. And then you see the other mintages there as well for the D and the no mint mark. Now first up is a 1944 Denver minted Mercury dime. Now this one has some very nice toning to it. It is in excellent condition. It is graded at a mint state 68, plus it has full bands. Now if you're not familiar with what full bands are, here's an example of that. All the bands must be split. I've actually showed this in other videos. I've actually went into more in depth and explained it in other Mercury dime videos. So just type in Mercury dimes Couch Collectibles on YouTube if you guys want to see more of those videos. I have tons of them on my channel. Now because of this coin having full bands and because it's graded at a mint state 68, that's why this dime sold for over $3,200. Now here's something to look for on the 1944D Mercury dime. You want to look for the RPM. It's a repunched mint mark on the D mint mark. So here are a couple examples of that. Always be on the lookout for those. If you guys want to see your coins up close like this, just go to couchcollectibles.com. I have coin microscopes available and they are shipping in less than 5 days depending on your location. So go pick one of those up and you guys will see your mint marks up close like this. Alright, now here's an example of a Mercury dime that has that repunched mint mark on the D mint mark. Now this coin here, because of the high grade and because of that RPM repunched mint mark, this coin sold for over $125. Now for the 1944, you also want to look for doubling on the front of the coin. So there's extra thickness in the phrase "In God We Trust," as well as the monogram there. So always look out for that on the 1944 silver dime. Now here is a 1944 dime. It is an error coin. It has an uncentered broad strike, and we can see that taking place towards the top of the coin here on the front of the dime. And this coin here, because of that error and because of the grade of a mint state 64, this silver dime sold for over $175. Moving right along to a 1944 no mint mark. Now this coin doesn't have any errors or anything like that. This Mercury dime is valuable because of the high grade and it having full bands. So it's like in pristine condition. It's graded at a mint state 68. The coin grading scale only goes up to 70, so if you're not familiar with the coin grading scale, just go on YouTube, type in coin grading couch collectibles. I also have a few videos on that as well. This coin here sold for over $15,000. $15,000. For the 1944 S mint mark, this Mercury dime here is pretty valuable as well. Now this coin, again, we have a very, very high grade of a mint state 68, again with the full bands, and this dime sold for over $11,000. Here is a stock image of the 1945 Mercury dime. Of course, if you guys are not familiar with coins, these are 90% silver. Now you can see that they produced over 159 million of this particular date. Now this is the no mint mark dime, so that means that it was produced in Philadelphia. So they did produce a lot of these coins. Now first up, here's a 1945 Mercury dime that has been broad struck. So it does have an error on the coin. However, the coin has been cleaned, so that does devalue the coin some. But if we zoom in there, you can see that the broad strike is taking place all around the rim of the coin. Now that's going to give the coin a little bit of value. It is also a mint stated graded coin, so you see the MS60 there. That means mint state 60. That is the coin grade on this particular coin. Now this dime here sold for a little over $65, so not much money, but still a $65 dime. Not bad if you guys do happen to come across one of these. Here's just an example of another dime that also has a broad strike taking place on it. Now this one here sold for over $800, so it is a little more valuable. It also does have full bands on the reverse of the dime. If you guys are not familiar with full bands, I've done a whole video on that. Go check out my Mercury dime videos where I explain exactly what to look for on that. Just some other things to look for when you're looking at your 1945 D Mercury dimes. If you look on the reverse of your coins, you will see if it has a D or an S mint mark. In this case, we're looking at D, the Denver minted Mercury dimes. Now this is what you call an RPM, a repunched mint mark. Here's another example of a repunched mint mark, so you can definitely see this with a USB coin microscope. So always be on the lookout for those RPMs. And then here is what is called a D over a horizontal D mint mark. So you always want to be on the lookout for these as well. And you can kind of see that they're taking place towards the left of the D, the other D underneath it there. And also there has been 1945 double die outbursts with doubling taking place on the date. So make sure you guys inspect the date very closely as well. If you guys want to know where to sell your coins and where to post images of your coins, I have a whole video of that on my channel. Click on my channel, it's like the first video on there, and you guys will be able to know where to post images of your coins and get feedback to see if you guys have a true double die coin. Now this next 1945 Mercury dime is a S mint mark. It's a San Francisco minted Mercury dime. Now this coin does have a high grade, a mint state 67, which will give it a lot of value. And then it's got a micro S, which I'm gonna get to here in just one second. But this dime here sold for over $1,800. Now here is a normal S mint mark on the Mercury dime and then a micro S on the Mercury dime. You can see the differences in size there, as well as just the way that they look. The S mint marks look different. So always be on the lookout for the micro S San Francisco minted 1945 Mercury dime. Now this next coin here is a very high graded dime as well. It's graded at a mint state 67, plus it has the full bands on the reverse. And like I said, I have a whole video explaining what full bands is, so make sure you guys go check that out. I'll put the playlist of all my dime videos at the end of this video, that way you guys can click on that and go check out those videos. Now this dime here, like I said earlier, sold for over $96,000. Now keep in mind, if you guys do have a 1945 dime, it's all wore down, scratched up, and circulated, it's not going to sell for this much money. It's got to be a really high graded dime with these full bands to sell for something like $96,000. Alright guys, don't forget to subscribe in the middle, check out the videos to the left of me, and until tomorrow, I will see you all in the comment section below. This is Couch Collectibles, and this is where I disappear.